Hello, and welcome back to my channel. This is Reality with Diddy. How you doing? Now, I got some popping hot tea for you. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Some things you want to know, some things you ain't gonna care about, but we're gonna get on into it anyway. All right. So let's start with some Real Housewives of Atlanta news. Now, we all know that Miss Phaedra Parks went around there and decided that she was going to do something different than the rest of the girls and not talk to Carlos, right? So she went around there and she decided she was going to talk to Jason Lee. And Jason Lee basically was blowing smoke up her butt because, you know, he has an issue with Candy and the most successful people in the blogosphere are people like Jason Lee. He knows damn well that he was not being objective in that interview with Phaedra. Talking about some, ooh child. Yeah, you let doing most of the time because Phaedra only gives so much, right? So he was like, yeah, you just took the fall for something that you didn't you weren't even guilty of. Like, I did. I was benched because, you know, Andy Cohen told her ass she was benched when she kept talking about, well, you know, I've had so many jobs. But he was like, but you were benched from the show. And so she goes on to say, well, nobody saw or nobody had proof that I committed the crime that I was speaking of. Well, then Jason gonna say, well, we all really know how Candy gets down. Do we know that Candy would actually mug somebody, put a DR in front of it, the M, and take them down to a X dungeon? And because that, you know, that is ape, right? Put an R in front of him when you dug somebody while they're unconscious. Shout out to Diddy. And we're about to get to him. Yeah. That's what that's called. So PORSHA responded. And she wasn't so happy with the things that Phaedra said. See, Phaedra has an accountability issue. And so being that she has an accountability issue, which Fraud and Flop both know. So I call Phaedra Fraud and I call PORSHA Flop. So Flop knows how Phaedra is. But never, ever, ever has she ever caught any of her strays or any of her venom until now. But they're two peas in a pie. So I'm pretty sure they'll get over this. So PORSHA's message goes as follows. Now, I got all this information from Reality Blurred. The Copyright Act of 1976 allows me to provide commentary, and as long as I'm providing commentary and criticism on the topics at hand. So I'm citing my sources, Reality Blurred. Now, this is what PORSHA said in response to what Phaedra said. PORSHA wrote, at Phaedra Parks, you already apologized at the reunion and apologized after for telling me the lie. Furthermore, I have already taken accountability with Candy for repeating what you claimed she said. Let's move forward truthfully and learn from our past mistakes. Now, what she tried to say in a nice, kind little way, you know, Phaedra got a little line habit, right? So what she tried to kindly say in a way is that you lying again, say what you said, because for 7 whole years, basically you have avoided. Now this is me saying this. This is really not push because, you know, she don't have the bandwidth. But what you have done is avoided any responsibility for what happened by being fired from the job, yet still wanting to come back to the show. Now, Phaedra can fool some of the people some of the time, but this person, she can't fool none of the time. I've always known that she wanted to come back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. But what it is that these fans have blown so much smoke up her butt, is that she believes that she is actually invincible, and she don't deserve, and she's fixed it into her mind that she don't deserve any of the harsh treatment that she could have possibly received in these types of events. No, bitch. Everything that has happened to you is a result of your behavior. And then she tried to get on the show the other night, well, with the last episode, and try to act as if she was innocent with Angela as well. I told you in one of my videos, you can go back and look at all my Real Housewives of Atlanta recap. This woman very much teeter-totters on the edge of criminality. She knows just how far to take it. But she has issues where she lies so to the point where she really is defaming people. And eventually, she gonna get the right one. She almost got the right one with Angela, but Angela wasn't quite ready for her type of deceit. We just need one more. One more individual. Now, Candy has the resources where she could have gotten her own defamation, but I don't know why Candy didn't pursue it. I wish she had, because I've been team Candy throughout this whole. Is Candy innocent? As they say, there's no perfect victim. No, she's not. But I do believe that what Candy said is true. Just because she's down with the get down, that doesn't mean that she would actually drug somebody. She don't do drugs herself, so why would she do that to somebody just to get them to have sex with her and her husband, when there's plenty of willing participants out there? And that's what we try to get people like Astro glad to see, aka Diddy. Now let's get to the Brit and SHAMEA issue. The next thing on the Real Housewives docket, yeah, we're gonna do dockets, honey, over here, is what happened between SHAMEA and Brit. Now y'all talking about Kenya hang from outside the club. Now that's the perfect person who's hanging outside the club. Brit eating. Kenya Moore, again, for almost 13 years. 11 of those 13 years straight went to the reunions as the villain. She had to run up, don't make me go get PORSHA, run up against a loudmouth moose, blonde-headed moose, sitting across from her, being unprofessional, over talking her, because that's what Nene was known for, even though y'all begging for that big mouth cow to come back. I don't know why, but hey, it is what it is. I ain't talking about first, second season Nene. I'm talking about blowing the network had blown so much smoke up her ass that she had become a damn terror to look at on TV. But that's what y'all want back. She probably gonna end up being another PHAEDRA or another PORSHA. See, arrogance is her problem. And that became, and for me, that just became annoying for me. And you could tell when she started getting the big head, you know what I'm saying? And during those times, they were able to see PORSHA shouldn't have been able to come back for all those beans that she gave to people on the show. Can't keep her hands to herself. That's whack. But when PORSHA and Nene got into it, see how Nene reversed it? I've never been able. She said, "Well, you choked Kim." Oh, I never did it on camera. Which is the same thing PHAEDRA did. PHAEDRA didn't deny that she said what she said. What she said was, "Is nobody heard me say it." Think about that thing now. Okay, so this is me citing my sources. This information I'm getting from Urban Belle magazine, and they are discussing Brit Edie's response to Jessie Woo. Now remember, You know how the Atlanta girls get down, child. You know, Brit is probably, Jesse is probably cool with Shamea's ass. But Shamea stated that, that Brit was talking about her daughter in every interview that she can get in. And I do agree to a certain level that she did say something about her daughter to me. Because that's not just saying when you say something like that, because everybody's saying, a lot of people are saying that she just attacked her parenting. But when you curve over into the area of, that's a fine line, when you curve over into the lane of saying, was your daughter really sick, or did you lie about her sickness, in a way that is, to me as a mother, that is talking about the child, because that means that you're saying that I'm making up an illness that the child clearly has documented, right? We all know that the child has a documented illness, because how can you avoid an illness when her surrogate mother, and even though the egg and the sperm belongs to Shamea and Gerald, that's their biological child. But the body fluids that were going into her body, and the chemical balances that were going into her body, and the nutrition that was going into her body, everything in that realm comes from the surrogate. And that's what I mean by that's a fine line when you say, is she really sick? And we know damn well she's really sick, because the mother, the surrogate mother, had gestational breast cancer. And it is very, very rare that when a cancer patient has chemo or any type of treatments, that, that's not going to affect the baby. Now, my understanding is that before she had any type of chemo or anything like that, she had the baby was delivered. But she was delivered premature. Shout out to PHAEDRA. Because, she wanted her baby to be delivered at 34 weeks. Because he had to come out of her, because she was having some bleeding. More lies. But the baby was 40 weeks. But this baby wasn't 40 weeks. So what would Shamea gain for, like, now Shamea's a lot of things for me. I mean, baby, when I tell you she's the biggest disappointment ever, in my opinion, but I don't think she's lying about this child's illness, and Brit definitely implied that she did. So let's get into what, what Miss Jessie had to say. And what she had to say with hundreds of thousands of followers was this: I am not clear as to why Shamea's daughter had to be brought up into this conversation, insinuating that she was lying about her daughter's illness. Now, that's what I'm saying too. I definitely agree there. Shamea has amazing self-control, baby. Now, remember, what Brit is trying to say is that Shamea came for her first, calling her a P-popper, which is P-I-L-L, popper. And that's not true. Okay? I watched the show. They were going back and forth. And so, really, now, Shamea was lying, in my opinion. But when they were going back and forth, I thought that, okay, here's my opinion again. I could have sworn that I heard Brit bring up Miami first, and her doing shots. And then that's when she said, well, Brit, you are a pity popper. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I heard the conversation go. Because it was just a confrontation. The confrontation was really about Shamea really still talking about Porsha behind her back, and then Brit telling the rest of the group. Really, the daughter didn't have to be brought up. nor did the Miami trip, where my understanding was it was just a layover from when they took the flight from Grenada back to the United States. So Brit responded, and they quoted this. SHAMEA doesn't get to call me a. See, they do the same thing. They have to be sensitive too, because they put asterisks where P Papa goes all season long, which is not true. I am not an addict. You know how this works, right? I'm in the middle of reading, and then because of me reading from the doggone internet, all these darn ads popping up, I can't stand it. I'm just getting into it. Now I got to look it up. So I got to the part where she called her a pea popper and implied that she was an addict, bullying me on every outlet, come from my marriage, try to get people to hate me and call me a liar. What no one sees is that SHAMEA uses this storyline to gain sympathy from the fan. When she weaponizes her child's condition and knows no one was saying anything about her daughter. No, you did. I mean, you definitely implied that the child wasn't really sick. But no one talks about the made-up stories she has put out in the media, dragging me every chance she gets. Again, because we all know that scene had been filmed, and she is just talking about the reason why she don't F with you no more. So a fan told Brit, and this is lovely lady, she said, no, Brit, you become a mom, you will feel differently. I promise you, you will. When you come on this show, all the girls go low, but they never attack each other's children. And that's what she said about when you attack my marriage. Pay people to put out gay rumors. Who? Baby, we could look at your husband. In my opinion, we could look at your husband. Shout out to Rodney Voice and tell he got a little switch down river, but that's neither here nor there. And attack my reputation and call me a fraud. You are. Girl. This is me providing commentary. See? Copyright Act 1976. I'm protected. You are. Attack my reputation, call me a fraud. You are a fraud. Now that part you are, I agree with her there. Tell the world I should be fired from my job. What job is that? She can suck it. What job is that? You talking about your insurance job where you said that your license was in jeopardy for the things that Kenya said about you when after your license had already been revoked? But Angela clocked you that day and said it's harder to get your license revoked than some kind of morality clause, because there's very few places that sell insurance or licensures that worry about a morality clause. Child, I cannot make this stuff up. I attacked her parenting. Simple as that. Yeah, you did attack her parenting. But what you missing is you didn't just say you're a bad mother for going down there to Miami drinking. No. Bad, SHAMEA. You didn't just say that. What you said was, did you lie? Is your daughter really that sick? You said something in that general vicinity. And that's what made the area gray, boo-boo. And enough about Miss Brit. Let's get into this Diddy trial. Child, I told y'all I was trying to avoid this shit until I got the actual verdict. Because the rest of that stuff, for me, and I'm pretty sure my listeners who are like me, and most of my listeners are like I am, did not care about all that fluff about everything every single thing that they was talking about in the trial. We just want to know, was his ass going to jail? At least that's what I was doing. So I got the information for you about what he was convicted on and what he wasn't convicted on. Let's get into it. Citing my sources, excuse me. I'm putting my mic Both are back on. And that is an online newspaper. Diddy is found not guilty for federal charges, the most serious ones. He does get 2 counts, but the rap mogul escaped the most serious charges. Sean Diddy Combs found guilty Wednesday of only 2 counts, and that was only tied to prostitution. He was acquitted of the most serious charges, which is sex trafficking and racketeering. The 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution and not guilty of the 2 trafficking charges. Wednesday's guilty verdict comes nearly 10 months after federal prosecutor arrested the 55-year-old music powerhouse, accusing him of running a criminal enterprise and abusing victims and coercing them to fulfill his sexual desires. The counts, he was found guilty of carry punishment up to 10 years in prison. Now look, let me just say this. Now, racketeering and the edge trafficking could have counted up to 6 years. And what people are out here celebrating, and he still could get time served. So that's 1 year. But he still can get, like they said, up to 10 years. So now it's up to the judge. What if he has a judge that ain't scared of his ass? Because to me, juror number 25, I did pay attention to the trial. I'm just saying. Especially when they were rounding out to the verdict. Juror number 25 was shaken. Now, you know damn well he is guilty of coercion. In my opinion. That's coercion when you are trying to, when you paying people and telling them that you going to release X tapes of them if they don't do this. That's a more quid pro quo, right? Then that's kidnapping, what we saw in the videotape. When somebody is running away from your ass and you drag them back to where they were, that's kidnapping to me. But you found out guilty of that. When you could see you, did you see you after you stomped that lady? And here is what depresses me about this case. Not just that he was found guilty, not guilty in a court of law, because I really truly believe that there was more coercion involved with him winking at the jurors, holding out love signs. Y'all, I know y'all don't believe that this man didn't have anything to do with jury tampering. I believe 100%. This is my opinion that he most certainly did. There's that. But to see this woman get stomped on video and then you say she was a willing participant, or why didn't she just leave? I'm so disappointed, but I shouldn't be, in the support from the Black community for this man, especially from Black men. No, I take that back. That's to be expected. But from Black women. Wow. A majority of Black women since this case started have been very supportive of him. But why? He don't like y'all. He don't want our kind. Even a lot of y'all don't know this, but even Kim was biracial. Kim had the good Becky hair. Right? Y'all don't see it? Justin Combs is questionable. Then he took Quincy's child. Albert Brown's child, and raised him as his own. And that wasn't coercion because Albert Brown said he wanted his own kid. But he ended up in the hospital. What about, if we can't get him on this sexual stuff, what about all these sprinklings and allegements of him? Is allegement a word? Well, I just made it a word if it ain't. Of him possibly milling folks or having a meal. That baby, that right there, Kid Cudi car, you couldn't prove that he exploded that car. What about Tupac? What about him stealing from his artists? None of that is, y'all couldn't get him on any of that. Pac's family, to this day, look it up, believe his only surviving member of his family, his sister, and his estate, to this day believe that Diddy had something to do with Pac's removal from the earth. If they don't believe that he had something to do with the removal of him from the earth, they definitely believe that he had something to do with the ooting in the elevator. That he set him up. Nothing. Even Miss Wallace, after seeing P Funky, P Shitty get involved in this whole racketeering case that y'all found him not guilty of, by the way, believed that he had something to do with her son's demise. So we're not going to investigate none of that on him. Kim's demise. The whole trampling thing that happened in the gymnasium. The shooting in the Shine. That's why Shine said, I ain't saying shit. I know he out there, woman, in that club in 1999. I ain't saying nothing. I did my time. But I'm not going to talk too much about Diddy because everybody's like, don't worry about it, Shine. He going to jail. Shine said, I ain't saying shit. My lips are sealed because Shine knew that his ass was about to get off. Now, everybody seems to think that he is going to get off scot-free and he'll just have probation. Fingers crossed. I really do hope that he gets 5 years for each of the charges that's remaining and 1 year time served, which 9 years total. At least. Come on, Judge. Don't let him wink his eye at you. Don't let him let his slobby mouth look at you. Don't let him come back in there with his Beijing in and fool you. Maybe we have a judge that is going to do the right thing and think about these charges for real, and put his ass away. But Cassie is disappointed, and Aubrey all day said that she felt like that she wanted to throw up. I mean, Aubrey has been a staunch, person against him, saying he was guilty, and she just been standing by her guns on this whole thing. But it just looks like that all of this has been in vain. So hopefully they'll open up some investigations about these suspicious deaths. That's what I'm looking forward to. Because I was like, in this RICO charge, ain't nothing, this about sex. Ain't nothing that's going to be about him taking these people out the earth. Or having them taken out the earth. We just gonna let that other shit slide, huh? We just gonna make it just strictly about the sex thing. And poor Cassie. Cassie was honest. She said what he did to her. These freak-offs, y'all can say she want the lifestyle. Y'all can say she want the money. Whatever. But there's no way you can be a willing participant in all of this. Right? And back to there's no innocent victim. Especially when you are the victim of your boyfriend. Didn't I just talk about, if you go back and look at my other videos on Diddy, I just talked about how men have been getting away with raping their wives for thousands of years. But hundreds of years in this country. Women have come forward and said, my husband raped me. And of course you're not going to believe them, but then you don't believe when a woman is leaving a man and the night that she leaves him for good, he apes her. You don't believe that. That right there. So all tied up in this. What about the part where she got on stand and said that he did that to her when she broke up with him? Nothing. In Black community, we got to do better. We got to do better on figuring out who we want to support. We support Pookie down the street who comes in the neighborhood and terrorizes the neighborhood. We have him a barbecue. But the child that's going, shout out to Chris Rock. I'll never forget that joke. But the guy who going to college, you're a nerd, boo, boo. We ain't having you no barbecue. You want some chips? We got the shit fucked up. We got the game mixed up. We got the wrong people who we support. We supporting sexual deviancy. That is weird. Looking at the amount of people saying, oh, they were just gold diggers. Dragging the people that these crimes were committed against as being just gold diggers. Oh, they just freaky. And Diddy's a freaking nigga. The fuck? Wow. I don't know. I mean, we got life fucked up in this country. It is weird. The shit we support. And I side eye anybody that supports Diddy. I do. What are you doing in your bedroom? What are you doing to your wife or spouse or girlfriend that you think is okay? Are you knocking her upside the head, putting her between the washer and the dryer? Shout out to writing divorce. Huh? I cannot. Anyway, come on in. Like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell button. You will be notified when I upload a video. Yeah, I'm close. I can't do it no more. Did it? Nope. Disappointed. Wow. That's all I can say. Like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell button. You will be notified when I upload a video, and share the video. Why? Because sharing is indeed caring. And as I do, when I close, I'm going to check them out. Deuces.